Hello everyone, in this video we're going to be building a house that is designed to be a vacation rental for Love Day, or what the Sims calls Valentine's Day. So what I wanted was to make this very Love Day themed. So this is in the shape of a heart, and I do add a bunch of stuff that looks like hearts with the furniture and the decorations, so predictably I did use a lot of seasons in here. But first, what I am doing is to create a simple floor plan, which is going to be an open space, and one of the rounded areas is going to be a bathroom. And then next to it I created this deck, from which I wanted to access the pool. First I had the pool as half of this deck space, and I really liked how that looked, but I wasn't able to place the stairs the way I wanted to, and so I ended up just creating this half tile in a diagonal, because I am using a lot of diagonals in this house, so what I normally do wasn't entirely possible in here. But anyway, for the roofing I knew that I wanted to use some circular roofs, and I struggled with this a little bit because this game isn't supposed to be used for making heart-shaped houses, which is shocking. So when I added the roof trims it looked a bit weird, and I did make this more of a curved shape so that it looked better, and I also used medium wall height so that I could add a frieze, and then I adjusted these things. I also tried to extend the cables outwards. It nearly worked out, but not entirely, so I ended up just getting rid of that idea, and eventually I removed that platform that I had created in the center, and I ended up just layering some of these roof pieces until it was as good as I felt that it was going to get. Since I was thinking that this was more of a rental than an actual residential, I decided to build it in Brindleton Bay because that's a world that I really like, and I wanted this to be kind of secluded, and I felt that, for example, in Hemford-on-Bagley it would look totally out of place because this is a modern building and a very thematic one at that, so I added it to this lot, but I am not super happy with this placing, so I might move it over to Copperdale before I take screenshots. But that was also one of the reasons why I didn't add landscaping to the whole of the lot, so that it might be placed in a smaller lot, and because I don't really think that this lot fits this particular house super well, but outside of build mode you cannot see the actual border of the lot. I also wanted it to be sort of a private area so that a couple could have some privacy and not to worry about neighbors, so that's why I didn't build this on the Winterberg Island, also because of how over the top this is. But yeah, that was the thought process behind where I placed this lot. So now we're going to start furnishing this house. I have now painted it pink outside, and as you can see these windows are all pink, and they are from the new For Rent expansion pack, which has actually a lot of windows, and I really love those ones. They also have a really nice height and some detailing that I think is really beautiful. And I skipped over the part where I add these tiny windows for the bathroom, because I do end up replacing them for some of I think the windows from Realm of Magic. This bathroom looks very pink at the moment. It ends up being less pink, but I do use one of the rocks from Get Together because it has like a mouth with a rose, so I felt that it was perfect. It's actually one of those rocks that are meant to be used by clubs, for like a romance club or something, but I thought that it was perfect, and I also used a rock with hearts from Seasons as an entryway rock. And now I decided that I wanted there to be a kitchen right next to the door because it wasn't working on the diagonal wall, and I felt that this was perfect. I used these counters from Parenthood and a sink from For Rent. This is actually fully functional. There's no stove, but you can cook a garden salad on the large counter, and I do end up having a small appliance on the small counter. But now I'm going to be working on some of the other areas of this house. I added this corner couch from Cats and Dogs, which has some very pink pillows. I am also using this TV and bookcase with a stereo system unit from Tiny Living, which is very useful for these kind of small spaces. And I did want for there to be a TV in this space and also music so that Sims can dance on their dates. And I am also using this wallpaper from Parenthood, which has these hearts, as well as these blinds from my first bed stuff, which come in different sizes, which was very useful because of this rounded area. It did take a lot of moving stuff around. Even the windows I had to rearrange slightly so that everything would fit the way I wanted it to. I am also using the bed from the Pastel Pop kit, which has these shapes that look like the top part of a heart, and I might have changed the swatch, and I also decided to add a kettle because I think one of the teas that you can make for your Sims to drink gives them the flirty moodlet. And I am using a lot of stuff from Seasons, like these banners, some cards, a lantern for this little lounge area, and these that are like string lights almost. I decided to hide the post inside of the wall, and I just used the post from the City Living lanterns so that it would match the color scheme that I was going for. I did try a lot of different fences in this area, but I decided to go with the Seasons one because it is very simple and it has the right swatch, and I actually really like that one. But now I have changed these Realm of Magic windows that I had in the living room for the other Realm of Magic windows, which are curvy and are smaller, because I really like how the other ones adapted to the diagonal wall, but I felt that this kind of shape suited this house better. But anyway, I think we are now going to be finishing this living room area, just adding some artwork and a rug. And one thing that I forgot to mention when it happened was that behind that corner couch I normally add a platform so that it looks like it is built in, but here I wasn't able to do that, so there was a gap. And what I did was that I added a corner side table from the base game, which is kind of rounded, and I might have sized down and maybe raised it up a bit, but it made it so that there wasn't like a very obvious gaping hole behind the couch, so I added that and just a plant on top of that, which has some really lovely white flowers and pink vase. But outside I knew that I wanted to use a lot of this stuff from Romantic Garden, but I did struggle a bit with landscaping. I think I changed these swatches several times and even the sizes of these things, but I think I cut out a lot of that footage because it was getting very repetitive, and I don't think it's that good, so I didn't think that keeping all of that really enhanced the video. But I did try, and I liked how I added a rose wall behind this area here in the garden, as well as adding some seating and a fountain. And I didn't think that having a dining space in this house was super important because there's a couch and Sims can eat in a couch with no problem, but I liked adding this small table here, especially because it really fits this Romantic Garden aesthetic, and it had this pink swatch, so I thought it was nice to have it here. And I also think that it's a very beautiful table and chair set, which is from Get Together actually, so it's kind of like the kind of table and chair set that you would find at a cute little cafe. But anyway, I have now added some terrain paint as well as some lights. This tree from Movie Hangout has these really cool lanterns, and it is pink, so I thought that it was perfect for this over-the-top heart-shaped tiny house. And I also ended up adding a custom fence using these other decorations from the Romantic Garden stuff pack, and I moved stuff around so that I could have the wishing well, because some of the interactions with it are actually like wishing for romance and that kind of stuff, so I thought that it was something that made sense to have here. But I think now we are just going to be adding some little finishing touches to the different areas, such as the bathroom, in which I didn't show on camera, but I did choose to have a wallpaper from For Rent, which has some pink, and I thought that tied it in better with the rest of the house. And I am just finishing some of the landscaping and adding a picnic table from Romantic Garden. And another thing that I enjoyed adding here was the woohoo bushes from Get Together, which have these little heart leaves, and I thought that it was just funny. it's just one of those funny things that the Sims games have, so I felt that this was the perfect build to add one of those, or actually two of those. And that's really it for this rental. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to have this up in the gallery under my ID, which is Veranjo, and I will also have that link down in the description. I wish you all a very happy love day, and I hope to see you next time.